couple of things at play here, because Victor Bermudez, the original executive producer, is on the feed right now, and Solana played first of the month. Today is the first of the month. It is funny that my anniversary falls on April Fool's Day. It was a perfect day, kismet, for me to start at QAM. But Victor, who is the original executive producer, gets a kick out of good producing. And he's a big believer in Bone Thugs first of the month. On the first of the month means a little something to him. That felt good to you, right, Vic?
Yeah, it's a must. I'm a big look. I give Solana a hard time, but big fan of his. How far he's come. I say it all the time. When I first started, you talked about a former program director who did some things there, and only time I've ever been let go at 560 WQAM. I've been there since 2007. I was let go for a few months because someone thought they could do my job. I came back within 2 games. And first game back was 2017, Florida State in Tallahassee. That big comeback up there at Doak, and walked into the studio that day, and I was working with a bunch of new folks that Ryan McGuire hired. Have gone on to do good things in the business now, but the only one there that knew anything was Solana. Like, it was so bad that I had to jump on the board, literally told a board up, I got this. And I hadn't been on the board since I left your show. So that was, and I left your show in 2014. That was in 2017. So it had been about 4 years since I was on the board, because no one knew what they were doing outside of Solana. He wasn't with us. He was doing the Panthers at the time, but I give him a hard time, but he's been a great addition to this show.
One time when Solana was doing a Panthers game, he pooped his pants.
That's hot, man. He can't let you have one, bro.
So great. Like,
That's dedication.
That's how my head works.
Right? I did. Yeah.
That's what I want on my team.
Yeah.
Willing to poop his pants for a good production.
Right? Is that true? You didn't. You needed to go, but it was not time to take a break, and you had to make an executive decision.
This was a West Coast game. Started at 10, went into overtime, and I mean, it was either I go to the bathroom, and Doug Plagans can't go to break, or I sit there and I do my best, and I finish out the broadcast, and then I stop at Walmart on the way home to buy some new pants.
What's the difference between that and Channing urinating on the football field? And I think it's the same thing. I think it's the same dedication.
Correct.
No, I applaud it. I think it's great, because there's not many people in radio who would do that, which is why Solana is where he's at. Tell everybody. So Victor was with me. So Victor started this show 10 years ago today. Started at 3 o'clock. It's 4:38 right now, but we started at 3 o'clock on April 1st, 2014. And you played the wrong song. You played Thin Lizzy, Boys Are Back in Town. I had told you to play the Bus Boys, Boys Are Back in Town. And then we, got everything corrected over the course of time that you worked on the show. But after the first segment, did you think to yourself, this is a disaster? This guy, you didn't know me. And we had met, leading up to it. And we had decided to use you as the executive producer. And everyone had spoken highly of you. But from my recollection, the first segment that I ever did on 560 is one of the worst segments of radio in the history of radio.
I wanted to, the producer and me wanted, just like the Academy Awards, to start playing the song, like, end this. Hey, wrap it up, man. This is going way too far.
You should have.
The thank yous were like, who else are we thanking? Everyone was being thanked. So it was like, let's get to the show, man. Like, when does the show actually start?
That was the show I had planned, though, was to thank people for 4 hours.
Yeah, that was a rough start.
That was a rough start. You didn't think that it'd be here 10 years later. You didn't think that you'd like this show 10 years later. You love this show.
I love this show now. I honestly, I tell you this all the time. I said it on social media. I don't know if I've ever voiced it on radio. It's only my second time being on this show. So I honestly do think, I really do believe a show you used to work on changed the way Miami radio would be listened to for the rest of our time. And I just was not.
Mornings with Zaslow?
No, that show was awful.
Okay.
I wasn't a big fan of the Hochman product. I liked the sports side, but I don't have a sense of humor. I don't find things funny. So I more of a sense of humor than Ryan McGuire, but still no sense of humor. So now Rushmore, Loaded Potato. I was like, man, let's just talk X's and O's. I worked with Channing in the past, so Channing knew the type of things that I found entertaining, but I took the job because it was afternoon drive. It was what I was used to. Hochman's coming. All right, let's see what this is like. And I was only on the show for about 4 months, from April to August. And to me, personal opinion, everybody has their opinion and they're entitled to it. I think this show, the version of this show today, is by far the best show in South Florida sports history. I grew up down here. I'm born and raised. I listened to all of them. Mandich, God rest his soul, Hank Goldberg. I listened to everyone on 560. It's what, and again, this is coming from someone who was just not a fan in the beginning. And I'll never forget, there was one moment you came storming into that control room, and Shay and I were always having like our own show in the back. And you told me, I need you to pay attention. I'm going to come to you often. And you may not like this show, but I need you to pay attention. And I need for you to engage, because I'm going to get asked for your opinion, whether you like it or not. And that changed my mindset. It literally changed my career, because I said, even if I don't like this, I need to embrace it and pay attention to it. Because if I am the executive producer of the show, it should start and end with me. Solana's in control of all of it. It's your names and you guys are the hosts, but he can sabotage the whole thing with the push of a button, or not being prepared for what's being spoken of. And that just changed my mind. I started to embrace it. And I listen to you guys religiously. I don't go a day without listening to the show. I'm very fond of all of you. Again, I started with Channing prior to knowing you, Hawk. Solana, I think he's a great addition, a good producer, and working his way up in this business. So huge fan of this show. And I'm not surprised it's been here for 10 years. I'm surprised that some of the folks around here are still there. But I'm not surprised this show is around.
We did butt heads at the beginning, because he didn't share my sense of humor at all. And I do remember that, where I'm doing my shtick and I can see he is zoned out in the back and he's just chatting with Shay. And I was like, I walked in there. I'm like, yeah, bro, I don't care if you like it or not. I can't look back there and have you, gallivanting and me feel like if I've lost you, then I feel like I've lost everyone. And so, and he turned it around.
That's cool.
Tell everybody, though, Vic. So Vic went on to produce television. We've mentioned this before, but because this is a little retrospective, tell everybody how many Emmys you won and what you're doing now for people who don't know.
I'm a sports producer line producer for Telemundo Deportes. I line produced Sunday Night Football during the NFL season, done an Super Bowl. I've done numerous playoff games. I do a lot of stuff on television, 4 Emmys, a lot of Telly Awards, produced boxing, field produced some of the biggest events. But radio's my passion. And I know what you're bringing me on here because of what I've done since I left your show, but radio's always been my passion. And it's why I continue to go back to 560 every college football season for the Miami Hurricanes. And this show, Hochman specifically, changed my life. Literally, I can say that, no second guessing it. I didn't want to leave radio. And he says, I fired him. I was in a way kicked out of radio because I came and I said, look, man, I went back to him. Hawk did something for me that I won't get into it, but Hawk made it that I didn't have to leave radio, and then spoke to me as a friend and said, now I'm going to speak to you as a friend, and I'm going to tell you, you need to go. You need to go because this is going to be what's best for your career. And as a friend, you'll be able to come in here and run this radio station if you choose to one day, which I think I can, but I choose not to. And this show changed my life. It literally, Hochman changed my life. If it wasn't for this show, I don't take that leap on, and I don't have the awards that I've earned and done and covered the things that I've covered. So it's near and dear to my heart. He's a good dude. Channing, you and I, we go way back, man, since started on Radio Row and you geeking out over what was the pitcher's name from the Phillies, and then Kurt Schilling.
Schilling, yeah.
And Solana, I'm a big fan of his, man. Big fan of the producing he does. And I honestly do think it's the best executive producer you've had on this show. I don't come second to none, but I was only there 4 months, so I give him, by default, longevity.
Agreed.
I gave Victor a little boost to get out of there, but I didn't tell him to spend all his money on steroids, and that was the only problem.
I didn't. We went over this the last
clear.
time.
I did have been more clear.
Went to Mexico. I got a good deal. We're all right. We're all right, brother.
Yeah, you gained 80 pounds in 3 weeks.
I tweeted out today the picture of the original showcast. Me, Vic, Zach, and Shay. And Vic is a skinny little dude, man.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't that skinny at that time. I'm just wearing a Ray Lewis size 52 jersey.
Well, you weren't,
and I'm a large
like
at
you
best.
are now. You weren't jacked like you are
You
now.
weren't Apollo Creed. Apollo Creed now. Gigantic.
Have you changed your mind on Jake Paul, Mike Tyson?
No, I have not. Have you?
No. Well, I've seen some videos of Mike Tyson. He looks, although they're gonna be wearing big padded gloves. I read, huh?
But you're also seeing 30-second clips. Like, Channing will tell you, like a 3-minute round feels like forever. And
I think they're 2-minute rounds, though. I think I'm starting to see some of the rules. I think they're 2-minute rounds and like 16-ounce gloves or 20-ounce gloves. I don't know what.
16-ounce. That's big. That's huge. Yeah. That's huge. So that'll help. But yeah. But you're 57 and 27. No, I'm not changing my mind, Hawk.
I want Mike to win, Hawk, but I think Vic tricked me last time. He got me last time because
who's making all the noise in the background? If it's Vic, I want to yell at him. But if it's Crowder, then it's okay.
No, that's me. That's me.
And you, Mr. Producer guy, you just have people talking in the background.
Yeah.
And he had a dog earlier. Did I hear a dog?
He muted himself and now he's yelling. Don't yell at him.
I'm like, hey, they're hearing you. I'm on the air.
Don't yell it.
Leave them alone, man.
I'm just teasing, Victor. We're a very casual show. This show is very casual.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Victor.
Every time I'm in a hotel room, the cleaning lady comes. Every single time I do it from a hotel room.
I just laugh because, you have no broadcast sensibilities. That's the part of the appeal with you. Victor is Mr. Tight Ship broadcast. Make sure it sounds good.
We have a lie. Like we're like, yeah.
But you're
I can't control that. Some things,
a cafeteria.
Some things you can't control. Some things
like that.
You're gonna cut somebody out.
I know. I was just teasing, Victor. Don't get angry.
It's about to be Tina Turner. No, I'm kidding.
Don't get angry. Keep that steroid rage down. No steroid rage because of this show. Just having fun. All right. See you, Victor. We love you.
Later, brother.
Victor Bermudez, the original executive producer of this show.